In Movies and Money today, a monster of a weekend is ahead at the box office with something for everyone. Here's a look at Godzilla.
Our planet will perish, and so will we, unless we set Godzilla free.
Joining us now, our film critic, Erik Childress. Good to see you there, Erik.
Hi, Angie.
Erik, do you think that Godzilla will be king at the box office this weekend?
Well, that appears to be the case, Angie. Disney's Aladdin had the 5th best Memorial Day weekend ever, but one thing that has been clear, given the films that have posted $100+ million weekends over the holiday, it is that all but one of them, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, dropped more than 60% the following weekend. Now, even the most optimistic of projections in that respect would see Aladdin drop to $36 million, if not lower, and that should open the door handily to Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, this is a follow-up to Gareth Edwards' Godzilla reboot in 2014, which opened to $93 million and then just barely got itself over the $200 million mark. I am not expecting those same numbers for this one, no matter how many extra monsters they throw on the screen. Though Warner Brothers is certainly hoping for some hefty global numbers, and a lot more than the 2014 film, which grossed $529 million worldwide on a $160 million budget. The new film has a reported $200 million budget, but the investment doesn't end there, as they already have Godzilla vs. Kong planned for March of 2020. Kong Skull Island grossed $566 million worldwide in 2017, so you can bet that Warner Brothers has at least a 600 number on their mind. However, as I've always said, you cannot trust early reviews coming out of the studio junkets, and now that more level-headed critics have seen it, the positivity has dipped below 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that could end up translating to a lesser number in North America and putting more pressure on the international numbers.
Next up, Rocket Man lifts off this weekend.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
What did you say your name was again?
Reginald Dwight.
I'm thinking of changing my name to Elton.
Erik, I think a lot of people are taking a look at Rocket Man, which is all about Elton John, and thinking about Bohemian Rhapsody. Is there any comparison here?
It would probably be foolish to think that Rocket Man is going to replicate the same success as the Queen biopic did last year. After all, that film shocked everyone, and not just the staying power, but by grossing over $900 million worldwide. That number still boggles the mind, but here we have director Dexter Fletcher, who actually took over the reins from Bryan Singer after he was fired from Bohemian Rhapsody, getting to do his own movie about a popular European singer from the 1970s and beyond. Taron Egerton, who actually rescued a kidnapped Elton John in the Kingsman Secret Service sequel, and starred in Fletcher's Eddie the Eagle, assumes the piano bench as Elton in a film that is being called more Moulin Rouge than the traditional biopic, which already sounds like an improvement over Rhapsody was, which was rated PG-13. This film is rated R, though, and that may not matter as much in its overall grosses given the demographic for Elton's music goes well beyond his Lion King compositions. I expect we are going to see some strong returns on Rocket Man, which Paramount has really done a terrific job of advertising, even if they are choosing to show critics the film a bit later than usual in certain markets, perhaps to keep that high Cannes score as long as possible.
Before you take off, I'd like to get your commentary on Booksmart. There's some backlash about the returns on this film. What are you hearing? What's the buzz?
Well, for starters, people are really disappointed that Booksmart came in a distant 6th over the holiday weekend with just $8.6 million. And when it's a film people are supporting as strongly as this, the blame game begins and everyone is looking for a solution. Olivia Wilde's high school comedy starring Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Dever was a huge hit at South by Southwest in March, and its critical support hasn't lightened, making it the best reviewed wide release of the year at Rotten Tomatoes with a 98%. Now, there are those, as I had suggested last week, blaming the studio, Annapurna and United Artists Releasing, for a failure of marketing. This led to some backlash from folks who thought that they had done enough, even though I could point to about a 20-to-1 difference in ads I've seen for Rocket Man compared to Booksmart. Of course, anyone expecting this to be anything but a word-of-mouth success was also kidding themselves. It's not easy to hit a milestone like $100 million without a solid opening, but I always felt something in the $50 million realm was very possible with the right push. Sure, the two actresses may not be household names, but neither was Alicia Silverstone when Clueless made $56 million back in the summer of 1995, aside from one feature credit and a couple Aerosmith videos. It is moments like this where the hard questions have to be asked about who has the ability to trigger the success of films like these so that more films of its type can be greenlit in the future rather than simply ending up on Netflix instead of in theaters.
Thank you, Eric. As always, we'll see you here next week.
Thank you, Angie.
Check out businessfirstam.com to find out where to see our entire show. And don't forget to like, follow, and share Business First AM.